So there's been some interesting news surfacing around that Elon Musk is possibly interested in taking over Intel. Now, I recently did a video on this thinking that it was going to either be Elon Musk or a company like Apple because of how the article was written. It seemed like somebody was willing to stroke a check. And in the article, in all sources of this article, it did state that the person does have the capital. So that kept leading me to Apple. But what did we just discover? Elon's jet was in Florida. Global Foundries jet was in Florida. Qualcomm's jet was in Florida. So if three of these companies are meeting, this is telling me that we are possibly closer to a takeover of Intel than everybody anticipated. Now, personally, I thought it was probably a 50-50. I thought it makes sense because of the valuation of the company, but it's going to take a tremendous of capital expenditures, or what did I say in my last video? Somebody that has knowledge of the chip industry. And what do we have? Three different companies here that have the engineers and knowledge of the chip industry and could be picking up parts of Intel or putting it together as one company under one umbrella with three different investors here. So this is pretty interesting because I do think there's a higher probability, if this is really true, of three companies acquiring Intel over one company getting too big and the FTC blocking it. So there's a little bit more checks and balances. I do think the FTC will see the struggling facts of Intel and see that there's three different acquisitions coming, that there's three different buyers in here coming, and it's not just one single interest that's going to get too big. And therefore, I do think that this could actually give a higher probability of the bill being passed. Now, of course, this is all hypotheticals. This is just my opinion. 2 days ago, Elon's jet was in Texas. It did land in West Palm Beach, Florida, and landed in Virginia for the inauguration a day ago. So it seems like this is really happening here. So something to keep an eye on. As I stated, I do think we will hear something maybe Monday afternoon, Monday evening. We could get some sort of PR event that takes place. But for three companies to fly in on their jets and come together, I do think a deal is probably close. It's just a matter of ironing out the details and figuring out who's getting what, who's investing what, and what percentage of what is going to be taken here. I do think Elon Musk is spearheading this deal. We're seeing a deglobalization here. TikTok was just banned. We don't want to be reliant on other manufacturers. We don't want to be reliant on foreign chips because of the antitrust issues we're dealing with. So it does make sense for three massive companies to come in here. And it does make sense for the US to possibly pass this merger or acquisition that could be taking place with these three companies. Now, with these three companies, you don't have to worry about taking on too much risk here of everything from cash to stock could possibly get this deal done. But I'm guessing between 50 to 60 billion per company, which puts the valuation around 150, call it. That's kind of where I think this makes sense for a deal to get done. And 50 billion per each of these companies, I don't think makes or breaks their company. Obviously, it would be a huge hit if it fails. But I also think with three companies like this coming together, higher probability that the success rate will be there. So as always, guys, want to drop this news. Pretty interesting stuff. Keeping an eye on it. And I do think we will hear something by Monday evening. If we don't, then maybe this did fizzle out. As always, appreciate your time. We will see you all in the next one.